What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And today we'll be talking about the epic victory last night, people, as we rolled to Chelsea and went 3-point collecting. Big up to everyone in the chat for tuning in. Happy Thursday. I know a lot of you were rooting for Eddie Nketiah on the green screen. I see all the comments. I'm going to give him his flowers today. Don't get me wrong, Eddie. You know, I seen the phone calls. Hello, Eddie, is that you? I seen the phone calls, but the green screen, you got to do a bit more. I can't lie, people. You know, I don't get carried away. You know, it takes more than one good performance to hold a green screen. But, hey, big up Eddie, man. He kept it moving last night. Let's slow it down, people. Let's go into, do I say Granit Xhaka mode? It feels a bit unfair right now after the way he turned up last night. But anyway, let's go into N'Golo Kante mode, because that Kante last night was not the Kante I've been seeing. I can't lie, people. He looked like an old man last night. But anyway, let's get into some of your comments. Big up to everyone. South London's finest. C-Unit. Big up to C-Unit. Big up the Twitch gang and the YouTube gang. Appreciate you all tuning in. Eddie. Granit Xhaka's in here. He said, talk to me nice, Curtis. Put some respect on my name. No more Xhaka mode. Man of the match performance. Megs everywhere. Man, what a nutmeg from Granit Xhaka. I saw things last night I never thought I would see. Man, I don't understand. Werner scored. Eddie scored. Xhaka nutmegging people. It was mad, people. Beresford Productions, appreciate your super chat. Don't be scared of Man U. Man U's players will make Erik Ten Hag look like Tony Pulis. Yeah, man, I know they've announced the appointment of Ten Hag, although I don't think he takes over until the end of the season. Listen, we need to do it again this weekend, people. It's as simple as that. It's no good doing that performance and then going and losing to United at home. We have to, we have to get back-to-back victories. Lukaku mode. Lukaku. He's all over the place. Apparently, Chelsea fans were booing him yesterday as well, so he could be done over there. Luzma said, you've always rated Eddie, Curtis, same as Xhaka. Listen, people, you know me. I'm shameless with it. I'm absolutely shameless with it. It's the life of a football fan. You know how it goes, people. I said, big up, Big C. Eddie, what do you think of this lad now? Do you know what? All joke aside, I'm going to speak about it in more detail, of course. I'm going to give him his flowers. My opinion on Eddie Nketiah hasn't necessarily changed. I'm the same. I look at him, I think, not good enough for Arsenal. I wouldn't give him a new contract. And we need 2 new strikers in the summer. If Eddie bangs in 7-8 goals in the next 6-7 games, we may have a different conversation at the end of the season. If we finish 4th and he's banged the goals in that have got us 4th, then maybe you give him a new contract as a young striker and bring in a top striker who plays ahead of him. Or, this is it. I'm not one to get overly carried away. I got messages last night. Oh, Arteta. I said, yeah, cool. You know what? I'm going to give him his flowers today. I'm going to give him his flowers. My opinion hasn't necessarily changed. Same with Eddie Nketiah. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, people. Figure that one out, Eddie, he owed us that performance. That was his first goal of the season. Come on, man. We should have seen that performance 6 months ago, 3 months ago. So I'm going to give him his respect for that performance, but I'm not going to get carried away with him overall. I have to see that over a number of weeks. Big up Penalty Spot. Thank you for the intro picture, bro. That was a legit picture, man. And make sure you follow him, DJ Wisp, on Twitch as well. Great picture. Anthony said, facts, one good performance doesn't erase his years of mediocrity. This was a guy deemed not good enough for Chelsea, nor good enough to start for Leeds in the Championship. And that's it. Football is not about one performance. Football is about consistency. But what it is for Eddie Nketiah, it's a starting point and a position for him to build from. He should be looking at it now going, right, Man United at the weekend, Eddie's going to start at the Emirates, 60,000. If he scores again, all of a sudden we're raving about him. Then we go to West Ham, can you do it again? All of a sudden you sign a big money contract and now you've built a career for yourself. You have to perform consistently and things can change for you very quickly. King said Eddie can be our Joe Willock when we're talking about getting him out. And that's the thing you have to realise sometimes. Joe Willock was on fire at Newcastle. Some fans were saying bring him back. He can be our Aaron Ramsey goal-scoring midfielder. He's gone to Newcastle on a permanent and had a very quiet season, although he did well last week. So, yeah, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. But we're going to talk about the performance. Listen, I got to be honest. I woke up absolutely buzzing this morning. And what it does, it's a double-edged sword for me in one sense. I'm like, the performance was fantastic in the end. And it feels great beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But also, it shouldn't be something that Arsenal fans, we went into that game last night, most of us thinking we're going to get beat. At the most, we'll get a point, especially when we saw the team. Arsenal should be going to Stamford Bridge, and it should be a flip of the coin. We should be saying, well, if we play well, we'll beat them. If they play well, maybe they'll beat us. We should be on that level. And maybe we've been spoiled as Arsenal fans in the past. Maybe we have to let go of the past and just say we're not that team anymore. We haven't got these players in the background. But I keep my standards high. I don't expect us to win the league with this team, but I expect Arsenal to get top four with the way this season has transpired, with the way Tottenham and Manchester United have gone. You have to ask yourself on the flip side, just for balance, how can we beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, but we couldn't beat Southampton? We couldn't beat Brighton. We couldn't beat Crystal Palace. Why are we so inconsistent? We looked great last night. Last week we looked poor. So we have to figure out a way of finding that performance level on a regular basis. And I think that's down to an inexperienced manager and an inexperienced team. Maybe next year will be better, but we need that Champions League. Kid, big up to you, bro. He said, congrats on the win. Feel free to cook my team. Listen, you'll get a little, a light seasoning and a little bit, but I can't go over the top. You're Champions League winners. You're going to get top four. You're in the FA Cup final. I can only say so much. But yeah, you'll get a light seasoning and, a little bit of a cook. That is for sure. Broad said, I don't think people realise Arsenal may not be the club for some of these players. One good performance out of 20 games does not mean you can carry the badge. That's the thing what I'm saying. That's the thing what I'm going to make clear today with Eddie Nketiah and things like this. He's going to get his flowers, but one game doesn't mean you deserve a new contract. Do it against Manchester United on Saturday. Go to West Ham and do it next week. Let's see how he performs against a team with a low block, with 5, 6, 7 players behind the ball. Chelsea tried to attack us, which left a lot of space for him to exploit, which suited us yesterday. But however, listen, one thing's for sure. We've had enough lows as Arsenal fans over the past season and even beyond. Let's enjoy a positive performance, a victory. Like people are saying, we're missing both fullbacks. We're missing our best centre midfielder. We haven't really got a recognised, informed striker at the moment. Martinelli was on the bench. That is a very good victory. Now, I know Chelsea had players missing as well, but their squad depth is 10 times better than ours. The players they're bringing in. They brought in N'Golo Kante from the bench. Kante would start for Arsenal every single week. So there is a difference when people say, it was Chelsea's B team. Their B team ain't like our B team. Ours was a lot different. Penalty Spot said, I think our defence looks poor without Tomiyasu and Tierney. Exposed, to be honest, and made Ben White look ordinary. Nothing to choose between him and Holding. Definitely for me, Ben White, I thought was poor yesterday. And I think he's having a tricky spell. I've said many times he's decent, but he's not a £50 million centre-back. South London's fine. He said, what a great watch-along yesterday as well. Vibes. Shameless vibes, people. I'm giving it. I've always rated Eddie and blah, blah, blah. It is what it is, people. It's football. We got to enjoy the highs. And it was 420 as well. So that was our footballing high of 420. So listen, enjoy it, people. Soak it up. Manchester United on Saturday. Big game, 12:30 kickoff. And we have to get 3 points. Just looking ahead to that game, Cristiano Ronaldo, who's obviously suffered real tragedy this week, he is back in training with Manchester United. So I would expect him to play against Arsenal. He's going to be emotional. He's going to be motivated. I'm sure he'll be desperate to score and dedicate it, to what has happened with his son. And that probably makes them dangerous, because Chelsea had just won 2 games. And I think they turned up a little bit arrogant yesterday. Manchester United, that defeat against Liverpool may actually make them more dangerous. So, but we'll look ahead to that Obviously, tomorrow we'll do a preview and so on. Buenos dias, Curtis and the C Unit. Big up Buenos Aires, Guna. Make sure you smash the like. 1,200 of you in here already. Can we get 1,000 likes? Thank you very much for the great support yesterday as well. We got 2,500 likes, 60,000 views. Amazing support on the watch along. And big up to each and every one of you. And it is much appreciated, people. Right, let's look back on yesterday's game. Brilliant game. Watch the game back this morning. A game I can finally watch back, can actually enjoy. Usually I'm watching the games behind the sofa. I can't believe what I'm watching. It's embarrassing at times. And listen, it was one that we enjoyed. Some quality highlights in there, some shameless celebrations, and you know, it was one we have to enjoy. Captain Sal said, I love Arsenal fans. They are shameless like my Gooner son. It is what it is. In fact, you know what? Before we look back on yesterday's game, let's start off with this. Bit of good news. Part of the reason for my green screen today, by the way, is this. I have to mention this guy, Ian Wright. Probably the player, if I'm honest, that made me want to support Arsenal as a young striker growing up. He had so much character. Probably the best natural goal scorer that I've ever seen at Arsenal. And he was just unbelievable. He's been inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. I think that's the 5th player we've had in there now. Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira, and I think Tony Adams are the previous ones. And Ian Wright's been put in the Hall of Fame. Well-deserved. Unbelievable record at Arsenal. You know, he's Arsenal through and through. I think the whole fan base loves Wrighty. Hopefully I get him on this channel at some stage. You know, I have put the word out, people. And I've got mutuals who are giving him a nudge. So hopefully we get him on here in the summer. I'm pushing for it. But yeah, Ian Wright. Man said Eddie's a young Ian Wright. Don't get carried away. I can't even put that comment on the screen. That comment can't be shown publicly. Gold teeth killer. Listen, for me, these things stood out to me growing up. You know, to see a guy on TV at Arsenal with a gold tooth from South London who speaks like we spoke, and the culture and the vibes, him and Kevin Campbell. Let me give Kevin Campbell his due as well. You know, that was a real connection for me and an eye-opener. And for me, you know, I'm not even a London boy. I'm a Nottingham boy. By right, I should have been a Forest fan. Stan Collymore and Van Hooijdonk up front. But this guy, Wrighty, man, there was something about him. And legend. Hopefully we get him on the channel at some stage. And, yeah, well-deserved, inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. So congrats to Wrighty, man. And well-deserved. And that's why I had to pull out the green screen. You know, even though it's not all his green screen, but we got Wrighty on there today. Right, let's have a look at the game. Let's have a look at the game, people. Chelsea go bankrupt everywhere they go. Chelsea go bankrupt everywhere they go. Everywhere they go. Listen, they couldn't even fill the stadium yesterday. It was mad. 25,000 Chelsea fans there. With all this stuff that's going on, it's crazy. They couldn't even fill the stadium, obviously, with all this, the sale of the football club and blah, blah, blah. They weren't allowed to have a full capacity. So a lot of empty seats at Stamford Bridge, which I think Arsenal fans were hammering them on. Cal said, hey, man, I appreciate your work. Sometimes I'm on the fence with Arteta, but perhaps we just have to understand we are a young team and need to chill. Now, Cal, where I am with that, let me answer your question there. Where I am with that. If the circumstances were normal, I would say I fully understand what you're saying. For me, when you're a major football club, which we are, we're the 3rd biggest club in English football, right, after Man United and Liverpool. 2.5 years at a football club as a manager is a long time. Football's changed. I doubt you will ever see a Ferguson Wenger stay at a Premier League club for 20 years. You'll be lucky to even see 10 years at a Premier League club. Now, I think the time is now. He has to get Champions League for me. They are a young team, but they're a young team by design. Nobody forced the manager to sign young players. And I think 2.5 years, I think our fan base has been very patient with this guy. I really do. So I do agree with what you're saying, but I think the patience is wearing thin. And I think Arsenal fans are saying now, listen, I respect it. You do need patience, but you need to see results. You know, we've got to see results as well. We've got to see progress. $250 million spent. I don't think it's too much to ask for top 4 with the way this season has gone. I really don't. No more Lacazette, please. Listen, all Eddie had to do was show some pace, some goal threat, and he was always going to look better than Lacazette, because Lacazette has put the levels on the floor. He really has, in terms of goal scoring threat. Dan said, what a super result yesterday, and that chant from Arsenal fans, there's nobody here. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, Chelsea weren't happy, man, but we had to let them know what was what, you know. Serena Williams and Lewis Hamilton have joined Sir Martin Broughton's bid. Yeah, they're putting 10 million each in. Fair play to him. Investment. I believe Lewis Hamilton's an Arsenal fan. So maybe he can get in the boardroom and mess things up over there, you know. But yeah, big up Lewis Hamilton and Serena Williams putting 10 million into Chelsea. Right, let's concentrate on the big boys of London anyway. The Gunners. 3-point collecting last night. 32% possession. Now, I've said this many times, people. I've said this time and time and time again. Mikel Arteta's best spell as Arsenal manager was 3-4-3. FA Cup win, counter-attacking football. You don't have to dominate possession. Goes to Chelsea last night, 32% possession, and we win the game 4-2 and score the most goals we've scored in how long? Now, we played Southampton the other day. 72% possession and got beat 1-0. Possession isn't everything. This is what I'm saying with Arteta. You can't play one way. You can't just say, I want to play the way Pep plays. Pep's got 50 million players all over that team. 60 million, 100 million Grealish on the bench. It's all right dominating possession. You got to score goals. You got to score goals. I think we suited counter-attacking football better yesterday. Bit of pace with Eddie. Eddie's quicker than Lacazette. Saka's quick. Smith Rowe can dribble. You get Tavares on the overlap. I think it suited us, and I think we should play that formation against Man United. Now, like you said, we had 14 shots. That's more shots than we've been having. We had 4 shots on target yesterday and scored 4 goals. I mean, when do you see that at Arsenal? Unbelievable. Look at the passes. Chelsea, 704 passes. Arsenal had 332. Less than half the amount of passes. But it doesn't matter. We won the game. We scored 4. Go back to 3 at the back. Now, you do have to be adjustable. And like Abby's saying here, and I totally agree. When you're playing a lesser team with a low block, you may have to go back to a back 4 because you don't need 5 defenders on the pitch, 3 centre-backs and 2 wing-backs. Then you can play on the front foot a little bit more. When you're playing Man United, when you're going away to West Ham, when you're playing the North London derby, I think you play 3 at the back. Nuno Tavares is a better wing-back than he is a full-back. So he needs to be a bit more flexible with that formation. And that's something he's got to think about moving forward. Snake Eye said, Big C, I've been saying this. Arsenal will not change until Kroenke is out. Turkish you and others like Fran see the truth. Until fans unite and pressure the board, change will never come. Now, this is where I have a bit of a different outlook on that whole situation, right? And I have to be careful how I word this because it's a sensitive subject. I don't want Kroenke to be the Arsenal owner, right? I don't want him to be the Arsenal owner because I don't believe he's got the ambition to try and win the league and win the Champions League. I don't think he wants to do that because to do that, you have to spend money. He doesn't want to spend money. However, I think that if he was smarter in his recruitment, that Arsenal would be in a better position than they're in now. I think his recruitment of staff is the thing that's cost him the most because he spent a lot of money in the last few years. But if you're giving money to Raul Sanelli, who's taking envelopes, if you're giving money to Edu, who is not respected really in the transfer market, that money's not going to be spent the right way. If you've got Mikel Arteta learning how to be a manager, is he ever going to beat Pep, beat Klopp? I still think we could be in a much better position if only his recruitment was better. If you got Michael Edwards from Liverpool, if you got Conte, a Klopp, a Pep when they were available a few years ago, somebody along those lines as Zidane, I've got no doubt this Arsenal team would be maybe above Chelsea. Now, when you look at Chelsea, they're only, 5, 6 points ahead of us in the league. They're Champions League winners. So we're not a million miles away in terms of where we are in the league, in terms of Chelsea. We're miles away from City and Liverpool. So my thing is this. I would want the Kroenkes out. But the Kroenkes won't go unless this fan base pressures them. And I mean really pressures them. The fan base have proved that they're not going to do that, I'm afraid. We're a very divided fan base. So at the moment, all I can really hope for is that it works under Kroenke. Because there's no point being Kroenke out if we're not going to back it up with action. That is the problem with the fan base. Zach said, I can't stand another season seeing Xhaka waddling across the pitch and Odegaard running like he's about to fall on his face. Get better midfielders. Sometimes we get caught up in hype of performances. We've seen it with the manager. You know, Xhaka played very well yesterday. And, you know, that could cause us not to buy a better midfielder. These are the things that you worry about. But it's all about recruitment, people. I saw a stat yesterday. Liverpool spent 70 million on Konate and Luis Diaz. Look how good they are. 70 million. We spent more on Pepe than those two. A young French beast of a centre-back and a fantastic winger, you know. So, yeah, it's important not to get carried away. Let's stay balanced. But anyway, let's talk about the game yesterday. Let's do player ratings. And we can be a lot more positive with these player ratings than the ones we've been seeing. You know how it goes. I'll read out the name. We'll have a little chat about the player. Throw your numbers in the comments, what you think, and we'll go through them. Let's start with Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale, for me, gets a 5. He gets a 5. You may think I'm being harsh. I think he should save the first goal. I've watched it time and time again. Some people said I was harsh during the live stream. I've watched that goal at least 10 times. I don't know how it goes in. I've got no idea how it goes in. Rest of the game, he was all right. But for me, that is a big mistake. And you're lucky that that didn't cost us. Because Chelsea weren't at it really going forward. That could have cost us. He gets a 5. That's a big mistake for me. And I've got to be honest, I think Leno probably feels hard done by because he was brilliant against Aston Villa and got dropped. And Ramsdale hasn't been great since he came back into the team. But I don't think he's playing bad enough that the manager would drop him. To be honest, I think he should definitely save it. I don't care if it gets a deflection. There's not that much power on the shot. He doesn't move his feet quick enough. And even then, I don't know how he doesn't get a hand on it. Snake Eye said, Goatstale, 4 out of 10. He should have caught the first goal. He needs to calm down. Honestly, like I said, I used to play with a goalkeeper. I used to drink 3 Red Bulls before a game. He would literally be bouncing around the changing room. The doctor had to tell him to stop doing it because it's bad for you. It speeds your heart up. And I'm convinced Ramsdale is knocking Red Bulls down his neck. The guy don't stop moving. He needs to calm down, relax. Listen, I'm not saying he had a terrible game. Somebody there saying I'm being harsh. It wasn't terrible, but that is a big mistake. That's like a striker missing an open goal for me. So he gets a 5 out of 10. Is he as good as he's been playing this season? I hope he is. I said at the start of the season that I didn't think he was a good signing. He's been brilliant this season. Let me give him his flowers. He's had a little spell for me the last 3 games. I don't think he's been great. You're right, Peely. Mount nearly scored straight from a corner. Went over his head. Gabriel cleared it. So Ramsdale gets a 5 for me. Let's go to Ben White. Ben White, people, for me, our worst outfield player yesterday. I felt Timo Werner troubled him. Was it a foul on him in the build-up to the second goal? It was very difficult to see whether there was contact or not. I'm not sure. But for me, another poor performance from Ben White. I've got a 5 written down. I'm not going to go beyond the 5 just because we won. I see a number of you giving him 4. 6, 3 for Ben White. Kai gives him a 3. Penalty Spot gives him a 4. Said Ben White, no focus. 5 says Stringer. Omar gives him a 4. Terrible, said Caleb. I'm just because we won, I'm in a good mood. I'm gonna give him a 5. But I thought you're making me think I'm maybe even a 4 now. But yeah, I thought he was poor. I'm gonna give him a 5 just because I'm in a good mood. 50 million. I just don't see it, people. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. He's decent next to Gabriel, but I don't see it at 50 mil. And they've listed it here as a 4-2-3-1. It wasn't. He was playing in a back three, which he should be able to play in a back three. Effectively, you've got 5 defenders. He gets a 5 for me, Ben White. Rob Holding. I don't even call him Bob Boldin no more. He's got as much here as me, I think. Big up DJ Andre with a super chat. Appreciate that. Rob Holding for yesterday gets a 6 for me. Started the game a bit shaky, Rob Holding. But I actually think he played quite well. And I thought he was better than Ben White. And I'm not being funny. He's a player that I don't particularly rate. You're playing against Timo Werner and Lukaku, which could be a very tough day at the office. And I thought he handled business. I thought he was solid. Solid 6 out of 10. A lot of you giving him 7s as well. We'll give him a 6.5. I'll give him a 0.5. Ian said 6 is harsh. Give him a 7. 6, decent. I thought he just was solid. I give him a 6.5. We nudge it up to a 6.5 for a man like Rob Holding. Good performance. We still conceded 2. So I think it's important we don't get carried away with the defence. However, Gabriel, for me, last couple games hasn't been at his very best. I thought he was excellent yesterday. He made a block in the second half where he threw his body at it and blocked it. It looked like a certain goal. I think it was Alonso. And I thought he was brilliant yesterday, Gabriel. He's been a little bit off it the last few weeks. Just had a kid. I don't know what's been going on. He turned up with a fresh hairline, spray-painted hairline, and he was fantastic yesterday. I thought he was our best defender. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was a colossus. He bullied. What I loved is when Azpilicueta started chirping at the end of the game. And there you go, Ian. You're right. It's probably a 7 out of 10 performance. But Azpilicueta was chirping. I'm thinking, yo, somebody go and grab that little mouthy, you know what I mean? And the favela boy turned up and said, listen, bro, man straight out of Brazil. I ain't worrying about you. Gripped him up, and I loved it. 8 out of 10 for Gabriel for me. Nuno Tavares, the dog man. Hoo, 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 hoo. He was barking at Stamford Bridge yesterday, people. Solid performance. Deserves credit. I think 2 weeks ago after Palace, we'd have said he won't kick a ball for Arsenal for the rest of the season. He handled his business. Some of his shooting was a little bit erratic. But I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for Nuno Tavares. I thought he was solid. And the wing-back role suits him a lot better than playing left-back. Less defensive responsibility. 3 defenders to cover you. Yeah, as I said, he's erratic when he's got the ball. His shooting needs to be worked on. Azpilicueta gets across him for the second goal. Probably should have been more switched on. But I let him off with a 7. I thought he did well. Let's go into the midfield. Honestly, people, the Chuckle Brothers. Wow. To me, to you settings. Before the game, I felt a little bit sick looking at the starting lineup. I was maybe a little bit overcritical of the team, but I saw this go in a certain way. And the Chuckle Brothers, El Neni and Granit Xhaka, they bossed the game. Let's start with Granit. The man nutmegged Alonso on the edge of his own penalty area. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought it was April the 1st. I'm going to give both of these two the same rating. And I'm going to give them 8.5. I'm going to give them both 8.5. I thought they were brilliant. I'm going to give them both 8.5. I thought they were both equally as good in different ways. Mohamed El Neni, clearance after clearance after clearance, sat in front of the back three, protected them. Excellent. Did exactly what it said on the tin. Granit Xhaka was a little bit more expansive, got forward. The nutmeg, few good passes, got stuck in as well. No yellow card for Granit Xhaka as well, which is a miracle. 8.5 for Granit Xhaka, brilliant. 8.5 for Mohamed El Neni, brilliant. I think you play those two against Manchester United as well for their work rate. Funny thing is, at the end of the season, El Neni's out of contract. I probably still wouldn't give him a new deal. I think we need to freshen up the midfield. Granit Xhaka, for me, should be downgraded to a squad player or sold despite this performance. But they were brilliant. Chuckle vision, people. 8.5 for both of them. Andrew said we have to challenge Premier League and Champions League over the next few years, we have to evaluate Arteta and Nketiah, Xhaka carefully rather than one game. Otherwise, what's the purpose of keeping Saka and Martinelli? Exactly. It can't be one game. You cannot judge a player off one game. You've got to look at the whole season, and I agree with you on that. Don't get carried away. Tammy said El Neni, man of the match, 8.5. Keep El Neni now. Chuckle Brothers said El Neni. Xhaka kind of scored an own goal, people said. Mohamed El Neni said, bye, guys, I'm leaving. Should keep Xhaka for rotation. I just think because of Xhaka's ego and temperament, I don't think he'd be happy to stay as a squad player. But maybe, depending on what European competition we're in. Let's go to the attacking four. Start with Martin Odegaard. I thought he was good. Got on the ball, kept things ticking. Set up Emile Smith-Rowe, nicely weighted pass. I would have liked to have seen him get on the ball a little bit more, to be honest. But I'm going to give Martin Odegaard a 7, people. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he played well. He was tidy. I think I wanted him on the ball a little bit more, if I'm being honest. He was captain yesterday. But he's had a couple of quiet games, and I think this was a bit of a turnaround game for him. Thought first half he was very good, in particular. Quiet second half, agreed. 7.5, good in transition. 7, he got 1 assist, nice pass. Although I think the finish kind of makes it. Robbie gives him 5.5, that's harsh. 7, now they need to go. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get carried away with the level of these guys just because of one decent performance. Odegaard assist, 7.5, 6.5. Chelsea are God, 7.5. I give Odegaard a 7. I thought he was good. Let's talk about Emile Smith-Rowe on the left-hand side. I thought he was excellent yesterday. Came off. He's been poor the last few weeks as well. What a fantastic goal. Little side foot finish into the bottom corner. No chance for Mendy. The little jinking run what he went on, where he went past 3 players, tried to bend it in the corner. I was like, yo, if that goes in. ESR for me. I've got an 8 written down here, people. I thought he quietened down in the second half. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8, people. But he was back. That was proper ESR. The calf merchant was back, people. Great finish. Paul Merson style finish. Good point. I was thinking David Platt. David Platt finish. But yeah, Paul Merson, that attacking midfield run. Little curler into the bottom corner. Yes, Southland has finally says 7.5. Great goal. Was giving the ball away quite a lot. Soul Music said an 8. Omar gives him an 8. And Sal gives him an 8 as well. Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side. It's funny, you don't see everything when you're streaming the game, but I thought he ripped Alonso apart yesterday. Every time he got the ball and scored a penalty. This is the first penalty that Saka has taken since missing that penalty in the Euros final for England. So hopefully, that's something that when you've missed a penalty, you need to score a penalty to kind of get over it. And I thought that was a vital penalty. I'm going to give Saka an 8.5, people. I don't actually think he had the best of games, to be honest. But in the first half, he definitely troubled Alonso. In the second half, he worked his socks off, scored the penalty, won the penalty as well. Great celebrations. And maybe it's the Twix advert, people. Maybe it gave him the energy. And like I said, big penalty that needed to score. Mendy's a good goalkeeper, although not particularly great at saving penalties. So I'm going to give Saka an 8.5. Showed a lot of bottle. And yeah, Thomas Tuchel moaning about the pitch, saying the pitch is too bouncy. If I heard Arteta say that, I would be having an absolute meltdown. So I don't know what Thomas Tuchel is saying. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. Oh, do you know when he scored? I didn't know whether to laugh or celebrate. I don't know. It was a funny feeling. I've criticised and joked about this guy so much. Edward Nketiah. It just shows, don't it, how good we could be if we had a decent striker, because Eddie didn't do anything out of the ordinary last night. He chased down defenders, he won loose balls, and he scored a couple of goals. Great first finish. Hunts down Christensen, skips away, slots it past Mendy. Second goal, quite fortuitous. Toe pokes it in. Good finish. You make your own look. Work rate was brilliant. I seen him weights in people. Eddie Nketiah, 9 out of 10. Which makes him, MO, Yeah. Yeah. I can't say it. I can't. Eddie, well done, Eddie. Well done. Yeah, he gets a 9 out of 10, Eddie, which makes him the number one player in the game. You know what that makes him. Eddie, Eddie, Eddie. Dun 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 dun. Beverly Hills Cop settings, people. Eddie was here. Eddie was there, people. Put respect on his name. They're saying Eddie deserves the 14. I can't say it. I can't say it, Swag King. I can't. Eddie, man. You got 9 out of 10, so which gives you the highest rating, which makes you the something of the match. I can't do it. But big up Eddie. He starts against Man United. That's the biggest props that I can give the guy. He starts against Man United. There's no doubt. Does he get a new contract? Not yet, my friend. Not yet. Do that performance 3 or 4 times, then let's talk. All right, let's say he gets man of the match. Let me not cap. Man of the match for Eddie. Well done. You deserve it. You deserve it. We've waited long enough for it. Big up Eddie, man. And then off the bench, who came off the bench? Lacazette came on for 15 seconds. That was a heck of a 15 seconds. That I give him 5, 6, 5. He didn't even touch the ball, I don't think. Who else came on? I'm actually forgetting who came on. Cedric. I mean, he should have crossed the ball for Martinelli. He had a tap-in. Decided to hold on to it for too long for some reason. Martinelli 6. Yeah, just 5 for Laka, 5 for Cedric. I thought Gabby looked lively. I'll squeeze a 6 out for Martinelli. He looked lively. He would have scored if Cedric crossed the ball. I don't know what that guy was doing. Laka 8.5. Great work in the dressing room. Listen, sitting on the halfway line on the bench, he's probably as high as Lacazette's been up the pitch in the last month anyway. So he's probably more of an attacking threat from the bench than he's been on the pitch the last few weeks. But I tell you one thing, I think his team selection is quite simple this week. Pick the same team. That's all you got to do, pick the same team. But listen, the team deserves credit. I've got to admit, I sat here for half an hour before the game and I wasn't very positive. I was so disappointed with the lineup. You know, I put out a tweet, and Nketiah, Elneny and Rob Holding in 2022. What's going on? You know, but they performed and they deserve huge credit. Now, back that up. Manchester United at home and get us in a position to, you know, our top 4 chances have a chance again. I think that North London derby is going to be the biggest North London derby in years, I've got to be honest. Anyway, it's that time, people. Waffle settings is back in full effect. Mikel Arteta, let's see what he had to say after last night's victory, which was a huge win, and he looked delighted, and he deserved it. You know, he was brave. He was absolutely brave with the team selection, and he needed to do something different. I'm telling you, sometimes as a player... Right, Omar. Yeah, let me not forget. He said, do Arteta's rating. I give him a 9 out of 10. I give him a 9 out of 10. And you will not hear that often. I give him a 9 out of 10, Mikel Arteta. Changed the formation. Brought Nketiah in for Lokonga. It needed to happen. He gets a 9 out of 10. There you go. Clip that Ross, people. Right, here we go. And here they are. Look at this. Look at this picture. Oh, my... Oh, my days. What a picture. I feel like I've just turned on a love story. My heart will go on and on. Do, 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 do. That is Leonardo DiCaprio settings, man. I'm telling you, in the middle of the ocean. Look at this, man. Look at the love in this picture. I said, my boy, Mo, my boy. Don't be surprised if he gets a new contract, I'm telling you. Do you know what? I give Elneny credit, man. That brother, every now and then, he just turns up and puts in an unbelievable performance. There is some serious love in this picture. Man said Arteta's pouting. The lips are out, man. I'm telling you. I think he's blowing a kiss. Elneny's like, oh, my days. Look at that smile. Elneny masterclass. The best Egyptian in the Premier League, they were singing. But hey, it is what it is. Must have broke, but hey. It's quality, man. It's absolute quality. Right, let's hear what he had to say. He looks happy enough. Good things happen to good people. Oh, my days. He's on one. Philosopher settings, man. The manager was speaking to the media and was quick to give credit to the likes of El Neni, Holding, who came in to make their first starts since December and January, respectively. He said he wasn't surprised that they've set this press conference up all mad. He wasn't surprised they were both able to drop into the team so seamlessly, despite a lack of recent game time. It's very simple, he said. I've said it many times. It's the way they train. If you see the training sessions that we had on Sunday after the defeat, if you see El Neni, Holding, Pepe, how they trained, I think it's the reason why we won. Now, just one thing I got to point out here. This is funny. So, man's saying if you see how El Neni, Holding and Pepe trained, Pepe was a sub not used yesterday. So what's Pepe got to do to get some game time, man? You're telling us the guy trained amazing on Sunday. Man never kicked a ball, but Holding and El Neni got 90 minutes. But listen, we won the game. We can't really complain. But I'm sure that just shows Pepe that his future's not going to be at Arsenal. Even when the brother trains well, the man gets bombed. Don't even come on. But anyway, we won the game. It is what it is. I said to them before the game, to good people, good things happen, guys. And we have some really good people in that dressing room. What about Pepe? A good thing's going to happen to him because the man trained well and didn't kick a ball. That shows in difficult moments when they are not involved, not in the good moments, they have performed today because of how they look after themselves and how much they care about the team. Oh, Pepe. Pepe's in a... he's struggling here, man. He's struggling. Even when you train great, your reward is not to kick a ball. Listen, he didn't start and we won the game, so it is what it is. We can't be going crazy about the fact he didn't play when we've won the game. And the problem with Pepe, I think when we're winning, he's a player that you don't want to come on because he can be wasteful in possession. I see Pepe as a player that you bring on when you're trying to score a goal rather than trying to defend a lead. So I think he was just caught in the fact that we were winning the game and he probably didn't want to bring him on. He brought Cedric on, who was a lot more defensive, although he didn't play great when he came on. Penalty Spot said, looking for a bucket. What is this guy on? Clement said, Pepe wondering if he will get consistent game time instead of 15 minutes. I think Pepe's done at Arsenal. I really do. I think if the club get a decent offer for Pepe in the summer, he'll be sold. He's on 130 grand. He cost 72 million. He's got 2 years left. I don't see any way how he stays. I don't see how he would want to stay because the manager doesn't pick him. Let's just skip through. I mean, that's the end of the press conference, but I think he did say something else. We gave the fans something back. Doesn't look as happy in that picture. After 3 defeats, after witnessing, we scored 4 goals with our academy players, which is unique and great. I saw something yesterday. I think it was on Match of the Day. Finally, I was able to watch Match of the Day, which I don't watch often. And I think they said it was the first time that Arsenal have had 6 English players in their starting 11 in 17 years. I believe that's what they said. First time in 17 years, we've had 6 English players in the starting 11. Ramsdale, Ben White, Rob Holding, Saka, Smith Rowe, Eddie Nketiah. Hale End. That's what it's there for, people, so it's paying off. So it's great. 4 goals from academy players. I didn't even think of that, to be honest. He said, then I know that our fans have been disappointed in the last 2 weeks because of the expectations we have created for them. And thankfully today we give them something back. The fixture is our game in hand on Tottenham. That's it. Short press conference. Doesn't look like he said much. I'm sure they were celebrating him. Yeah, crazy stat. First time that we've had 6 English players on the pitch. I mean, to me, I just want a successful team. It doesn't really bother me. But listen, it does look good on the club. It was 2001. So even longer. 21 years. I thought he said 17. But yeah, short press conference. Less waffles, more... Well, yeah, Oh, Nanny, that brother there, man was pouting at him. It was all mad, people. It was all mad. Let's get into some of your comments. How you all feeling about yesterday? We'll do a preview for Man United tomorrow. I'm going to try and get Saeed on. I'm not sure how busy he is. I've just sent him a message, so we'll see what he's doing. We'll look ahead to the Man United game. Obviously, an early kickoff. And we have to get another win. I mean, I'm just looking here, people, at the Premier League table. Let's have a quick look at the table. We are level on points now with Spurs. Spurs are ahead of us on goal difference. But as I said, I've just got a feeling this weekend, I don't know why, that Tottenham may drop points at Brentford. I might be clutching at straws here. I'm hoping for Ivan Toney to do something here. Tottenham play Brentford away at 5:30. Brentford have got a decent home record this season. They've beaten us. They've taken points off other big teams as well. I'm hoping Ivan Toney and co. will do something. Obviously, we play Man United at 12:30. So if we beat Man United, we'll be up to fourth with Tottenham playing Brentford and put the pressure on them. The problem is, this team, this Arsenal team at the moment, anything can happen, And United, on one hand, everything says to me, United have just lost 4-0. Pogba's apparently injured for the Arsenal game. Ronaldo's been through a heck of a lot in the last few days. We should beat United. On the other hand, we said that when we played them away from home. And again, if Ronaldo plays, he's going to be desperate to score and probably dedicate the goal to his son. So you just don't know with Arsenal, do you? You just don't know. Lacazette's in the chat. He said, I was absolutely shattered when I came on. Lacazette, what a 15-second performance from him. Arsenal will do Arsenal things. That's the problem, innit? Arsenal things are not always good things, that is for sure. But we've got a chance. We've got a chance, people. Our next two games, Man United at home, West Ham away. Tough games. Remember, people, Tottenham still have to play Liverpool at Anfield, a game you'd expect them to lose. They play Brentford away. They got Leicester at home. They got Arsenal at home. And they lost, obviously, to Brighton like we did. It's interesting that us and Tottenham have got exactly the same record in terms of wins, draws and losses. 18 wins, 3 draws, 11 defeats. We've won 3 games more than Man United. I suppose the problem is the goals scored. And also, do you know, people, we've now conceded as many goals as we did last season with 6 games to go. Now, that is just crazy. When you think that this summer we signed Tomiyasu 20 million and we signed Ben White 50 million. We've already got Tierney and Gabriel and we signed Ramsdale 30 million. We're going to concede more goals than we conceded last season in a defence that had David Luiz, Hector Bellerin, sometimes Rob Holding, which is crazy. And a lot of people have said he's fixed the defence. So why have we conceded so many goals? That is strange. Maybe it is hype. I think we don't concede in as many games, but when we do concede, we concede a few. We'll concede 2, 3, 4. I think Tomiyasu's injury and Tierney's injury have really hurt us. I think since Tomiyasu's come out of the team, our defence has been a bit off. We've had more clean sheets. I think we do need to go into the market this summer and buy a fullback and also obviously get Saliba back. And I think bringing in a defender and Saliba, 2 new defenders to go along with what we've already got, I think that could make a big difference. Get a better centre midfielder to play next to Partey and get a striker that bangs goals in. We are better defensively, just need better backups. I actually think we need somebody possibly to... I would like to see Saliba push his way into that back four if he can and if he's at the same level when he comes to the Prem. Faye said Big C Maguire received a bomb threat. Jeez, I mean, come on, people, man. We all get frustrated with players playing football, but that's just crazy. Taking it to whole new levels. Harlech said we're still giving away cheap goals. Spot on. Look at them 2 goals last night. They're both avoidable. Both totally avoidable. The first one's a goalkeeping error. The second one, Ben White gets caught and Nuno gets caught out on the run by Aspilicueta. So, yeah, we concede a lot of goals that we don't need to concede. Okay said, just bring Saliba and strengthen the midfield and striking position. Personally, I think we could do with get Saliba back and get a fullback. Do we need the left back more or the right back? We definitely need a left back, I would say, depending on how Tavares, because Tierney gets injured too much. 50 games he's missed in 3 seasons. And Tomiyasu, you know. I think, is Tomiyasu going to miss the whole season? Because the manager said in the press conference he could be available and he wasn't even on the bench. It's crazy. Disturbed Digital, would you take Torreira as backup? He's doing well in Italy, can't rely on Partey. I wouldn't bring him back. He doesn't want to be in England. He hasn't wanted to be. At the end of that first season, he was already saying, I want to go back to Italy. You don't keep a player where he's not happy. And he's doing well in Italy. Cash in on him. He's got a year left on his deal. Get your 15 million and keep it moving. He's good enough, but I wouldn't bring him back. Zizzy said, Curtis, if Tommy is fully fit, do you put him in over Holding in this system? I think that's the position you would play him, because I don't think he'd be as good as a wing back. He doesn't get forward that well. So I think so. He's played centre back for his country. He's played centre back at Bologna. So yeah, I'd put Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Ben White as a back 3, I think. Big up the Arsenalist who said, C Unit, big up my brother, hope you're well. It's hard to leave Italy once you fall in love with the culture and climate. He loves it there, don't he? I honestly think the hate Maguire gets his unwarranted scapegoat. Listen, I understand Man United fans being frustrated. He cost 80 million and he's been poor for them. But look at the people making the decision, as well. He's an edge-of-the-box centre-back. If he plays for a top team that plays on the halfway line, he's going to get exposed. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to work that out. So I think really Man United fans' frustration should be towards their manager and their board members. Why did you sign him and why are you playing him in that system? He plays for England in a back 3, sit on the edge of the penalty area. He looks like a very good centre-back. Put him on the halfway line for Man U is a shambles. So, I think I don't respect that. Bomb threats. Come on, that's ridiculous, people. But listen, great victory yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. We're back in the top 4 race. I got to be honest, if we'd have lost yesterday, I think top 4 could have been done and dusted for us. But we have to back it up with a victory against Manchester United on Saturday. 12:30 kickoff. We'll be live from 11:30. We'll do a preview tomorrow, hoping to get Saeed on. But I'm not sure if he's too busy. I've messaged him at the last minute as well, which is a bit late. Kevin Campbell, I'm hoping he turns up tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I haven't spoke to him today. But we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be previewing the Man United game. Thank you very much for tuning in. 55 minutes today, a little bit shorter. The press conference was short. Brilliant win for Arsenal. Eddie gets his goals. El Neni masterclass. But we have to continue it against United or that win means nothing. But listen, enjoy it for the next 2 days. Thank you very much for tuning in. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. And we will preview the Man United game tomorrow. Chelsea go bankrupt. Everywhere they go. Chelsea go bankrupt. Everywhere they go. Take care, everyone. Bless.